With the addition of the new recall spell, Town Hall 12 can unlock it within the clan castle. So let's give you 3 of the best attacks to use with the new recall spell for 3 stars. Let's start with our first army, the Recall Electro Dragons. This attack strategy is really good with the recall against ring bases specifically, since you are able to clear one side of the base with the queen charge, and once you're able to get a solid amount of funneling, you then recall her and use your Barbarian King and the recalled Archer Queen on the other side. This will create enough of a funnel where you now have 2 funnels set and you can send your Edrags straight through the middle and using your spells and your Warden to support them. And of course, if you're wondering what the army composition is, here is the army comp with the recommended clan castle. The link to the army comp link is going to be in the description below. But in terms of this, you're going to start off with the use of the queen charge, breaking open a wall in order to get her into the base, and of course, funneling her. At this point, you can really let her go and do her own thing and just create the funnel. It doesn't matter where she goes. As long as you create the path, that's a-okay. You should use a rage spell since you are going to be going into a lot of heavy fire, especially since you're only using 4 healers. And that sometimes might not be enough to protect your queen. So make sure to use a rage spell early on, just to make sure that you're able to keep everything alive. You should use your Barbarian King on the other side in order to create the other side of the funnel, and once your queen gets enough value, go ahead and recall her and place her down with the Barbarian King to work through, where then you have 2 funnels set, where you send in your Edrags, Balloons, Warden, and Blimp. I'd recommend using at least 1 rage spell since you got a massive group going through that is all together. The Battle Blimp will remove the Town Hall with the balloons in there, and use a rage spell within the core to help not only your Edrags, but the balloons as well from that blimp take down the Town Hall. Really, your freeze spells at this point is just going to be trying to freeze up air defenses since they're the major threat, but anything like the Expos, maybe multi or single Infernos, even the enemy Archer Queen are great options for you to freeze. But make sure that you're able to get more than just that one thing. That will help you in terms of getting a 3-star more frequent. Just make sure that what you're doing is you're not using your free spells too early. I find that you're more than often going to mistime them. So in order to make sure that you're doing that, just time your free spells and you should be a-okay for that 3-star. Now for our second army, we have the use of the P.E.K.K.A. Smash with the P.E.K.K.A.s and the Super Wizards. While this isn't as spammy, this works incredibly well with the recall spell and speeding up that funnel with the use of the Queen Walk. But what is of course easy is using my creator code CORRUPT. It's a great way to support me and everything I do here on the channel, and also allows me to make even better content. In terms of this specific base design really specifies that you need to remove the Town Hall or get some sort of funnel set with the use of the Queen Charge. That's what I did on one side of the base, and took advantage of that tiny dead zone between the 2 Archer Tower compartment with the Wizard Tower and the Town Hall. On the other side, I use the Flame Flinger, probably the best siege machine to funnel a smash attack. Outside of that, I then use the P.E.K.K.A.s and the Super Wizards through the middle part of the base, the middle of my 2 funnels, towards the Eagle Artillery and through the back end. This provided a lot of support and value to push through. And of course, if you're wondering what the army composition is, here is the army comp with the recommended clan castle. The link to the army comp link is going to be in the description below. So a neat trick is that if you're using the Flame Flinger, you're going to start off with a couple balloons. I used 4 balloons, even though that's unnecessary. You can just use 2. You can pretty much save a lot of that Flame Flinger HP. But in my case, I go ahead and also funnel my Archer Queen so she can go in. I need to make sure that she doesn't use any rage spells, so using a freeze is really smart, since you can not only freeze the Town Hall, but the Cannon and Expo as well, since they do provide some of that extra DPS. Outside of that, all I want to remove is just the Town Hall and the Cannon, and then take her back. I can use my Barbarian King and Witches on the other side, where I can easily go ahead and get even more from it. And this just allows me to create one side of the funnel with the King and the Witches with the Flame Flinger, and it gets more value that way. So using the P.E.K.K.A.s, the Super Wizards, the Warden, and the recalled Archer Queen, I can move into the core. A rage spell early on helps push them into a way to allowing themselves to get more value, a jump spell to get deeper in, and as we get to the core of the base, we use a Grand Warden ability. Since, of course, we're in the core, that's where a lot of the defenses are going to be targeting us, so that's why. And then using a jump and another rage with a freeze on a key building like a multi, it will help the super wizards and the P.E.K.K.A.s and anything else in the base, get even more from the base and also remove any more key defenses. And we have the Hog Riders on the back end being able to help clear some additional buildings before really anything else that we have left up, including the P.E.K.K.A.s, King, and Queen, maybe even the Grand Warden, will really help us clear through the rest of the base and get a 3-star. Now, my personal favorite attack with the recall spell has to be the Recall Hybrid. I even made a video on this at Town Hall 13, which you should check out after this video. And if you want to improve as a player here in Clash of Clans, then make sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss any videos like this one, since I have a lot of great content planned for Town Hall 12 and above. Outside of that, you will want to go ahead and start by using your Queen Charge to remove some outside buildings and try to remove the enemy CC and the Town Hall. Sounds like a lot, I know, but you're basically treating this like you're creating one side of the funnel with the Queen Charge and then setting that on the other side of the funnel with the help of the Barbarian King, maybe a couple witches if you're able to fit them in. Since you don't have access to the use of the battle drill, you can use any siege that doesn't go for the Town Hall. So I actually find that either the Flame Flinger or the Siege Bearer could actually be great options, enhancing more of the funnel. Outside of that, your hybrid goes through the middle in either an I or L shape, and it makes it so easy for you. And of course, if you're wondering what the army composition is, here is the army comp with the recommended clan castle. The link to the army comp link is going to be in the description below. So in an attack like this, it's very similar to a standard Queen Charge hybrid. You are going to start by funneling your queen. Now, the queen is not going that deep into the base, and likewise, you are not wasting the Queen Charge. Instead, you're recycling it to use it on the outside to help funnel, which is a really nice way that the recall spell can get value. Using baby dragons and sneaky goblins really is what I would recommend, but outside of that, I would highly recommend using rage spells when you need it the most. So if your queen is getting hit by a lot of heavy fire, use a freeze and use a rage. That'll get your queen topped off in no time. Outside of that, usually the Barbarian King is going to be near the Town Hall. If not, then that is good for you. But outside of that, the king is usually around the Town Hall. So try to make sure that you're able to bring a headhunter or two to help your queen remove it. But while your queen reaches or gets closer to the CC, the Town Hall, and the king, then you should use a rage spell. It really helps. Even though you might have to still use the ability, you will be able to get a lot of really good value, and it will make sure that you're able to remove not only the clan castle, but also remove the Town Hall, to where then you can recall your queen. From there, you'll use your Barbarian King and the Archer Queen together to create the other side of the funnel. Now, this is where you can use your other siege machine like the Siege Barrack or the Flame Flinger. I used the Flame Flinger, it wasn't really worth it. I could have just used a Siege Barrack, it would have been better. But this is where you'll send in the Hybrid. The Hybrid is going in between the two funnels I set, which is a very narrow path on this base in particular, but it allows me to control everything. That's where I can use my first heal spell as everything drives into the core. Now, I can go ahead and use my Grand Warden ability as everything starts to kind of expand out a little bit further, and it also allows me now to use my final rage spell towards the back end where we have that Eagle Artillery. Outside of that, the CC Hog Riders from the Flame Flinger or the Siege Barrack will help support the Hog Riders and the Miners as they clear through the rest of it. I have no other spells, so there's really nothing else that I can do, but just hope that the Miners go in the right direction and clear through the other remaining defenses. But outside of that, it's a super simple strategy that works incredibly well, and what I believe is the recall spell's best attack strategy, especially here at Town Hall 12. So yeah, the recall spell is kind of busted here at Town Hall 12, not just at Town Hall 13. And speaking of which, if you have not checked out my Town Hall 13 Recall Hybrid video, I highly recommend checking it out right here, since it is a great way to understand the attack if you're a Town Hall 13. and I'll be catching you in the next video. Corrupt, signing out.